Hey, lovelies. Here we are, back again at Tertia Tower, doing a build. We are above the casino, which means you can hear the music. You guys can't hear the music, but I heard the music the whole time I was building. It was quite entertaining. Alright, so, bringing the glass out to give us some more room inside and kind of match it so that the building's not completely bulbous with the glass about the... what is that? Casino words. Alright, we are going to stone in the walls because brick walls on the inside of a fish tank is weird. Yes, we are building an aquarium, which is going to be quite entertaining. And I stopped to figure out, because I totally didn't figure out what I was doing. So I tested item ducts and hoppers and dispensers. It seemed to work, so I put the dispenser in, and I think I actually ended up using the Ender IO stuff because it'll actually transport without needing a signal or power or anything. You just set the output and away it goes, and I'm okay with that. So I've seen this around, this method of moving animated aquariums and fish tanks. So I'm going to give it a go. It's going to be entertaining. You use ice to help guide flows of water, and they'll move the fish. Which is great, except for the fact that I'm in a very warm place, and it's very bright, and inevitably the ice is going to melt. As illustrated. By the time I noticed that was happening, I also found that Railcraft wonderfully gives ice slabs. So, replaced all the ice with ice slabs, planned out the flumes coming out from all of those. The reason the ice and the water work is because of the way the blocks are coated, that the transparency sticks. You don't see running water or other ice blocks through ice, which is actually pretty cool. So, using the slabs to guide a path, making them a little bit convoluted and they cross over. Actually, the dispenser on the right goes to the hopper on the left, which feeds into the dispenser on the left, and so they all go in a big circle. So they're not completely separate circuits. So we'll get the water going. Make sure things actually work before we try turning them on. I was going to use timers, but the spiffy little Project Red animated timers are actually devourers of your system. So I looked around and found that somebody has written a very, very simple and elegant computer craft thing, which I'm over there testing to make sure the code works, using a lamp to get it going. So I got those in there, and bless the person, they had it as a paste bin git. Thank heavens. That will be included below for those of you that want to make use of that. It's much kinder on the system, and so long as you name it startup, it will start up with the server, so you don't have to get it going every time, which is great. The only thing that I've found to be annoying is every time they get a signal, if they're not shooting arrows or spawn eggs, the dispensers click. So while I'm working on the rest of this and getting everything in, putting all the mariculture fish and yay fish variety, it's sitting there and it's just ticking constantly. Ticking away my sanity! But it did come out and it did work once I figured out how to force input with the ender conduits. You can see the fish starting in some places where I didn't do so great and they just kind of collected. So they're going this way. They're gonna just back up in the hopper until I get the other one up and going, which seems I did. It goes pretty quickly, thankfully. So I think this actually gets it up and running, which is wonderful. And before anybody says it, yes, I did end up going, thanks to a suggestion from Hitman, to droppers from Mine Factory Reloaded, but there was a bit of a dilemma with those because they won't spit into running water, so all of this that you see getting done had to get tried to move down a block, but that didn't fit. So basically everything got ripped out and redone, which is basically this all over again. but it looks like a hot mess from the outside, so let's come around to the inside and see that I'm not, like, completely nuts. Like I said, this is not my idea. I've seen a handful of people do it. I don't remember who I saw do it first, so I can't really throw credit because I've seen many people do aquariums such as this. But it makes the fish swim around. And you can't see the water, you can't see the chunks of ice, you could see where I messed up the glass. I don't know what I was doing. There we go. I worked to get some coral and leave some room with some actual water to have the kelp room to grow. As you can see, I totally broke the water flow there. Just trying to get that stupid piece of coral in there. I could have just left it with the ice, but it seemed weird to have a tank wall done out of ice, so we'll end up with a second layer and lots of floods as I put in glass tank walls and fix my water flow problem. It's hard to really demonstrate exactly how it's done because of how convoluted it was. Once you get that outer layer on, you really can't see, so... And you can't even really walk around in there, honestly. So, we've got the functional part with the fish swimming, working out rather well. So the side bits I'm actually going to address with the coral and the algae. Algae? Not algae. Kelp. So they needed to get backfilled with water, which leaves some lovely running water things that I will sort out with some ice. And in so doing, it did, for as big as I made that place, it really lost a lot of room. So it ends up just a little walk-in for that. So it's not a full aquarium, it's more a fish habitat, fish park. Kind of like the community garden. Contemplated what to do about getting a teeny bit more space in there. And then I gave up and decided to put some community fixtures outside with some benches for people to hang out on. I mean, it's not like they could go in and sit, hang out. I thought about putting one in there, but I'm like, nah, I think the traffic would be too high, and then you'd have somebody just kind of sitting in there forever and not getting out of the way and letting other people see fish. Luckily, there's nothing out here that's actually damaged by floodwaters, so all this mess isn't too bad. And a little bit of glowstone to brighten it up. And the park is directly above, so a lot of the water you see flooding in is actually from, it is from the ponds upstairs, my bad. But it does finish in a nice little, area where it'll probably get congested if people are walking or jogging. And a collection of fish they seem to be collecting at the bottom there. That'll be fun to sort out. So we'll go next door. This room is actually above the butcher's shop, and that was the one with the drop ceiling that I did. That I told myself I'd remember, and I actually did. So I've already punched out the floor to see what kind of space I'm working with, and it's not quite a full level, but you know me, that's what microblocks are for. Again, I'm gonna match out the external walls and windows with the floor below and into the globe above. That's fine with me. So down there is the panel drop ceiling, or half slab drop ceiling. The full blocks that are chiseled stone are light infused, which is really cool. And I decided I would keep those because light sources just make life easier. I just had to figure out what I was going to do the floor out of. I figure anything's going to look weird without with the stone, and I think carpet blocks the light. So we'll get with you know how to pronounce it. I think it's gneiss. It's like a GN. I always have issues with GN words. So we get a basement that will eventually be a kitchen. I'm okay with a low ceiling kitchen. I was trying to figure out exactly whether ground level was going to match up with coming in here, whether there was going to be a step up or step down. Decided to just measure it with stairs. This place is microblock heaven. And we'll slab do the floor. I initially did them on... Nope, that's full blocks. Oh, it's full blocks over here. I initially did them in the top half. Or bottom half. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking here. But I'm giving myself a little bit more headspace by doing the slab floors. Because it makes life easier. We'll, not natural. We'll more soft surface it with some carpet, and that'll give us room to put in the second floor steps. And then once we get the stairs done, I think the top floor is going to be, because I don't really have enough room to do a tile ceiling and a tile floor, whatever the third floor is going to be the ceiling at the bottom, so nice neutral wood paneling works for me. And I dropped a sign. I don't know why I dropped a sign, but I dropped a sign. So then I did lots of running around and trying to figure out how I was going to lay out the rooms and where I was going to fit things. Thought about putting in a bathroom upstairs. It actually made for a really narrow hallway when you got there, so thought about putting it by the stairs here, but in that one little corner at the stairs on the middle floor there. For one, dealing with the stained clay, the white is actually that color. I think that's gray. Like, that is not gray by any stretch of the imagination. Then the little alley where I was going to take a toilet or shower in that corner ended up being too narrow, so I ended up sliding the stairs back and getting thinner walls. And then I realized as I was doing this, by the time I got all of the paneling and variety and everything put together, I looked at it and I'm like, I have no idea how I'm going to put a door on this. So out goes everything. And I needed to figure out how to do the stairs to not take up the lion's share of the open space. So we'll put it against the common wall with the aquarium where you can hear that wonderful incessant ticking, which I've been listening to this whole time because I hadn't been suggested to that I should use. What did I end up using? Droppers, ejectors? I think it was an ejector. So, trying to align the stairs so that they don't end directly into the wall and that they line up with the floor, and that actually was more difficult than it really needed to be. I had so many troubles with this house. It's like I have more space and suddenly I can't make things fit anyway. Oh well. Such is the building entertainment. Once I got the stairs well sorted out, I had to fix the wall where I'd messed with it to make it match the stairs. And then it was time for the kitchen. I'm not breaking out the counters in this one, I'm just doing slabs and upside down stairs to make it fit. Wiring in a furnace behind there, beside the shelves, on top of the fridge. It's a mini fridge. Getting, I think that's ebony chairs, because everything's so light in here. I'm like, And the wall did not quite match up to the outside, so I kind of hid it behind some bookshelves, which is cool with me. And I know the ceiling looks really low, but the ceiling actually lines up with the slabs above, so I've just got this really heavy reinforced stone frame where around the edges basically, and really makes the room look small from the outside, but it really is larger on the inside. You'll see it when we walk through. I've developed a new love for potted saplings. I don't know why. I punched out the vertical supports so we could actually see what's going on. I will put those back in. I have to do a lot of running up and down stairs because I broke all of my crafting tables. Oh, doing the door. Same material as the floor ceiling of the third, and some of the quarried stone like matches out in the hall. Simple enough. Making use of the fact that I use slabs to make a really cool looking couch. I was going to put a couple more chairs in, but then I realized there was a request for a pool table, so once I figure out the proper sizing of a pool table, yeah. The surface of the pool table was actually set in such a way that I could not finagle any, like, billiard balls in there. Like, cue ball, nothing. They would float, and I don't know that levitating pool is all that entertaining. And decided, rather than breaking into a bunch of rooms, I would just use the bathroom itself as the divider. Using the same style, I think that's some kind of whitewashed stone and pine. Whatever planks looked vertical. And it has a door both towards the stairs and towards over here, which will be a bedroom. So it doubles as the guest and the master bedroom. Single bathroom. Single use for the win. It's got a tub shower thing with a bright orange curtain pushed to the side. Their walls were so irregular, there was nowhere for me to shove a hanging towel rack, so I just did a towel shelf with orange towels. I think that's jungle wood panel. And where that crafting table is sitting is where the vertical support will be returned. Doing some writing table and some storage. Ceiling tiles are always good. I used glowstone strips for lighting in here. I don't think I actually used any lamps proper. Which is fine. I mean, microblock glowstone. It glows. Alright, let's open this up and then we will turn our camera loose to do a walkthrough of most of the house. We'll ignore the bathroom because it's kind of cramped. So careful not to trip coming in on the second floor. But then got their bearings and off they went. Did some storage on the second floor here. Admiring the view, which is pretty nuts actually. There's the slight inset for the bathroom. The yellow carpet runner for the floor. I'm okay with it. The view's still pretty good up at this level. Got some pool sticks over there, a couple paintings. I need to put something on the shelf and we're going to trip over the couch. Let's not fall. Better trip over the couch than to trip over the stairs. That would be a horrible way to end the day. And down to this, still open. I thought about putting a couch down here, but I'm like, let it be a convertible space. A little bit of storage in the bookshelves, some seating with a nice view, and you can see what I meant about the higher ceiling. And the kitchen, with a little bit of storage shelf. I didn't stock it up too terribly much. You can see the really big hill over there that I gotta figure out what I'm gonna build over there. I'm thinking a port. And we'll swing back over here where I'm going to punch out all the walls, and I'm going to fight with this to convert it over to the MFR machine and then try to figure out how to make it actually work in the water. I ended up doing that for a while, so I'm going to finish that over here, and y'all take it easy till next time.